Make sure y'all go and check out the new track, Casamigos. It's already out on 103 Jam. Shout out to Jack of Spades. Shout out to Huncho Backends for the feature, man. We got great music coming soon.
Sweat out a weed, giving new mileage. She gotta call up a stylist. Hold the clip like she my obby. It's a new murder on Friday. Casamigos. I'm in the zone.
Hey, what's happening? It's your boy Rodney Bandz. We back. We live here with Tidewater Waves.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you pulling me back up, man.
Happy to be back, man. It's been a few years, man.
Yes, sir.
Lots been going on, man.
Yeah. Hey, look, this shit. I don't even know where to start, but we just start with who are you, where you from, giving people the refresh.
My name is Rodney Bandz. I'm from the DMV. Been down here in the 7 cities for the past 12 years. Been making some good music and selling the 7 C's, man. Feel free to check out all of my albums on Spotify, iTunes, and a new single, Casamigos, out right now. Feature myself and Huncho Backends, Hot Young Dude from the City. Feel free to check it out. Also check out my Instagram page too, at The Real Rodney Bandz with a Z. It's a lot of fire music up there.
Dope, yeah. You been working for a minute, like working and music working, so I gotta salute that.
I'm always working, man. I never stop working, man.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm writing a song in my head right now.
Right. Hey, look, don't tie with the waves.
Right.
Man. Yeah. Hey, so
Most definitely, man. Most definitely.
Yeah, so, we'll take it back to, when we last was, sitting down, but COVID happened. The pandemic. So, how have you been able to adjust to that, personal and music wise?
Personally, I mean, it didn't stop too much, as far as me working on, a lot of guys wasn't trying to go out to sea, due to COVID related issues. So, man, there was a lot of jobs available. I was working a lot. But as far as the music, I did take that time to push my album Bands in the Hood around 2020, figuring, hey, everybody's at home. So I pushed it a lot on social media. I did get a lot of great reviews from it. But I also took that time to, perfect my craft, and basically dig for beats, man. Dig for beats and scope out other producers and stuff. To go with my future sound that I'm creating right now. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought it up, because the last time we sat down, we were talking about new sounds and paying attention to what was going on. So what's kind of the vibe of your new sound that you're working on?
Right now, as of right now, I'm a little nervous about this because I'm tapping into industry beats, man. A lot of industry beats. Before, I was just trying to find my own sound and just, really be creative off of random sounds, but now I'm like, all right, I've been doing this long enough. I gotta get some club hits. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make some dance music, you know what I mean? And tap into more of the modern day sound,
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now.
Dope. So you gotta do that because, like you said, I think that's the perfect formula.
Right.
You starting from, all right, let me figure out my sound, some underground type, beats and whatnot. And that's like, all right, I'm ready to take this next step, see what the people on.
The object is to attract new listeners. You know what I'm saying? I understand in order to do that, I gotta keep up with what's going on now. You know what I mean? But still kind of do it in my own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of formulate that. So, yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up as well because, took a listen to all the projects.
Okay.
And I'm like, damn, this is dope because you would hop in and out of certain sounds and you be going for a certain vibe here and then switch it up on the next song.
You got to. My thing was, I don't want the listeners to get bored. You know what I mean? So that's where I was at when I was creating that content way back when. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So, speaking of like way back when and now, like, I know with your newer music, I'm kind of feeling more of that adopted modern sound. So like, how has that process been, you, all right, like putting your own flavor to it?
So as far as the modern day sound, I'm basically tapping in with more of the younger producers and pretty much blending it with my style and creating records that stand out from the rest of the modern day sound that's out right now. You know what I mean?
Dope. So also, I'm glad you brought a point up. It just, like you said, you were going through certain things back, like, a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I could tell that in the music, like you very vulnerable as an artist, putting yourself out there, talking about you being authentic.
Right.
And I think that's what makes a great artist. But what's your take on that in terms of like, how you feel about it now and back then, and just like
I think way back then, I pretty much put my real life on wax. Everything that you heard that was 100% authentic. And at that time, I think I made about 2 or 3 albums where I was in my feelings, you know what I'm saying? But now that time has progressed, I realized that I'm a true artist and I can do a lot of things. So right now I'm just experimenting, and I tapped into myself, man, and I created a lot of great music, man, that's coming out pretty soon, man.
Dope. And I can tell that with Casamigos.
Yeah.
I want to get into
you
that.
Feeling that track? Shout out to Huncho Back Ends, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Huncho Back Ends, man. Young dude out the city, man.
Yeah, salute. Yeah. So I definitely can tell the progress of the sound. It's just been a lot, like, from each project, so I know you say you're working on something new. So what's that process been like, adopting that modern sound?
Well, it had to do with, first, shout out to Z Will, Blue Man's Beats. He was terminally ill, so he stopped making beats for a while, but he did come back and make a few beats. But now he just like completely shut down. I don't know if he's gonna come back out and make more beats. So I had to start searching, for that golden sound again. And I couldn't find a lot of the old school stuff that I'm used to putting out there. So I just say, you know what, heck with it. I'm gonna just go with this modern day stuff, but let me find a couple of great producers, you know what I'm saying, that can, that's not out yet, you know what I'm saying, but I wanna deal with the guys that's not out there on the forefront, you know what I'm saying. I wanna deal with the underground producers, you know what I'm saying, that got a lot of hot tracks that need to be heard, you know what I'm saying? So those are my intentions.
And I'm glad you also brought up, like, you used to that kind of older sound. Because I did notice on Tales from the Pimp, Sailor's Drink.
You win sometimes you lose. Somebody get the kids some juice, some Hennessy or some vodka, please. The sexy women at the next part anyway.
You had like a nice little cross wave of samples. I don't know if you sampled them or it's a similar sound, but one woman man and Window Seat.
I'd never heard those songs before.
Right.
But when I heard that track, I was just being creative, I remember a time I pulled into Germany. It was with a lot of guys, and we hopped off, went to the Siemens Center. Everybody sitting around, gathered around talking. And a lot of guys was going through some problems. So when I heard that beat, when I got home, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make Sailor's Drink, and make it in correlation to those conversations that we were having. And when those guys heard the track, man, they loved it, man.
Yeah, so I know that's like a whole family.
Yeah.
Everybody out there. So like, how's that, been for you, just being out to sea, creating them relationships and just having similar stories and being able to relate to your fellow sailor?
Some people love it, some people hate it, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when we're out there, we all we got, you know what I'm saying? So if I can make a track or two to boost the morale, I'm gonna do that,
Yeah. And also with, being out at sea for them long periods, like, how do you stay inspired? Just like, we'll talk about like mental health and just being in that mindset to take that on.
Well, when I go out to sea, I kind of take on a challenge, I start writing before I leave, and I download all the beats that I like, and when I go out there, when I got downtime, man, I'm tapping into the music. You know what I'm saying? And basically, man, if I'm having a long day and I'm having a bad day and, hey, I can't really talk to anybody that's around me, hey, I tap into my music, man. You know, that inspired me, you know what I'm saying? The things that I'm going through, you know, hey, whether it's having a dispute with a coworker or missing my children, missing all that, you know, I just tap into the music, you know what I'm saying? And that keeps me elevated, that keeps me going, you know?
So you saying like, just, are y'all able to, is it like a set downtime or it's like, all right, you can kind of get away when you need to? I know it's like a strict schedule. Yeah.
No. It's all day, heavy grind, 12, 13 hours a day. And by the time you get off, take your shower, make a phone call or two, and then it's lights out. So you really don't have time to really press reset, reflect. But if I can't sleep at night, hey man, I turn on the beats, man, and I'm going in. And that's why every time I come back home, man, I'm always dropping. People like, man, when you had time to create this, you know? I'm just coming back to back to back.
Yeah. So, you know, with being out there, like you say, 12, 13 hours, you know, working, you know, hard work.
Hard work, man.
It
ain't easy, man.
Yeah, are y'all able to like access y'all's phones, or they have certain stations, or you know, how does that work?
Well, where I'm at right now, I got a phone in my room, so I can dial out.
Just
and every now and then I got service in my room. You know, shout out to AT&T, 5G.
Hey, drop the check.
Yeah.
Hey, coverage everywhere.
5G been booming, man.
Yeah.
So I've been blessed, you know.
Solid, okay. But it's normally just like, you know, the ship phones.
Yeah, ship phones. Yeah.
Gotcha. Dope. Okay. So, but speaking of, like, what's the craziest experience you've had out there?
Craziest experience, man. I would have to say 2014 in a longer pole. I think I was in Subic Bay. I was at Club V, and man, was having a good time. I never seen this before, but over there they sell Red Bull in a glass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a lot of the guys, we all went out to the club, all sitting in VIP, having a good time. They got the women, the hookah, everything. And I'm hitting the Red Bull, man. So I'm energized, but I sat down for a second, man. I'm kind of zoning out. All of a sudden, man, I felt the ground shake, bruh.
Oh, shit.
So I'm thinking like, yo, am I tripping? Do anybody feel this? I'm thinking like, man, this Red Bull got me gone right now. Man, I was in an earthquake.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't even, I was in an earthquake.
Sheesh.
I was sitting in the club, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, man. But that's probably the craziest experience, but it didn't get too crazy. It was probably for about 3 or 4 minutes, but I felt the ground shake while I'm standing in the club, man. I'm thinking like, I'm thinking it's Red Bull the whole time.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the experience that, like,
Yeah.
you on some, you know, foreign soil, it's like, hold on, what's going on?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, like I said, I didn't know if it was a drink or I was just tripping out, but I was really in the middle of an earthquake, and I didn't find out till the next day. You know what I'm saying? Other guys like, yo, did y'all feel that?
Anybody else?
Nah, ain't nobody saying that. Ain't nobody, everybody's partying, drinking. And I'm just sitting there by myself. I'm like, yo, what in the world?
They probably like, this party out of me.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I ain't drinking this Red Bull no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, we'll dive back into the music.
Okay.
You know, Blessed Forever. You know, you got part 1, part 2.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Mac tape, Bandz in the Hood, and then Tales from the Pimp.
Yeah.
So we'll just get started with like, what is your favorite out of all of those? I know you said Bandz in the Hood.
Yeah, Bandz in the Hood probably would be my favorite album. I mean, I really feel like
you classify all these as albums.
Yeah,
so
I can't classify them as mixtape. I ain't put them on that piff, or on the
I know
mixtape.
some people be EP, album, extended, whatever? Yeah.
I mean, most of the times I got about 15 to 20 songs, so album, you know. That's how I live, you know.
Gotcha.
Like if it's just some off the wall type stuff, I'm just going in there freestyling, doing my thing, and I don't really care. I just want to throw some sound out there. I may label it as a mixtape, but I take everything kind of serious, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of like you really, you know, saying, no, all right.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I'll put a couple projects or songs out there, but it's like, nah, this is what I'm doing.
No foolery, man. But because if a label pick up on it, I drop all these albums, you know. You know, and like I said in the last interview, we can do a joint venture or something. But I ain't signing no deal. So I want to show them the bodies of work that I can create. You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
So they can value me better as an artist. You know, we can work something different out than these other artists.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like we equal, opportunity, especially these days with your social media. Everybody has a medium, so you just come with it. But also, just with like your projects, like your albums, and just putting those out. Like, how is it locking into the studio? And just, all right, well, having that content ready, what's your creative process?
My creative process, man. As far as writing?
Yeah, well, if you write, or you just, I know you say you write on the ship, but.
Yeah, I write on the ship, but if I'm at home,
whole different.
Yeah. Making love, man. You know what I'm saying? I make love, man, sometimes, and I go turn that beat on, man. I'm just like, oh, man, I gotta go hit the studio tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm being honest, man. I don't know. When I make love, man, I feel like I open some door to my creative mind, man. And shoot, sometimes I'm making love, I'm making songs in my head, man. I'm just being real, man.
That rhythm.
Yes, I make a lot of love, man. I create a lot of music, man, at the end of the day. So that's what get me in tune to be ready and motivated to hit that studio.
Yeah, I think that's the greatest inspiration.
Right.
Hey, look,
I mean, as you can see,
look, it ain't no arguing that.
Yeah, as you can see, I say 90% of my music, we talking about sex. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too much violence, but I'm talking about sex in most of my music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I did
That's my ammo.
Yeah. I did notice that.
Yeah.
I got a few songs about, some ladies. I don't know if we can edit this out. I don't want to, get you off.
I ain't tripping, man. It is what it is, man.
Yeah. And especially, hold on, let me look. I wrote it down. About the dog and me. I know that was an older song, but you're talking about just, your past now. So just that lifestyle. So
that was real though. Like I said, if you listen to that first album, what I was basically speaking on, was my past and how it led to so much trouble and so much trauma. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I had to kind of let that go. And instead of going out here and doing those things, transfer that energy into music. You know what I'm saying? Instead of pimp these women, pimp these beats. Spank them. You know what I mean?
Tales from the pimp.
Tales from the pimp, man. Yeah. Tales from the pimp, man. Oh, man, I actually got the fellas in the studio on that one, man. We had a little choir thing going on. I don't know if you heard it when they were saying, call me in the morning, love. And I had about 7, 8 guys in the studio on the hook with me, man. Yeah. And they did a good job. Shout out to all y'all, man. Appreciate that. We made a classic.
Yeah, I'm about to say, man, you definitely have a lot of, just collaborative efforts. Not even features, but just people, the interludes, and, and I've seen that, like, as a common theme, because I think each one has at least one interlude, like each album. So
the goal is to keep you guys entertained, man,
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to take a break from rapping and, send the listeners' minds somewhere else and then bring them back to reality, man. Let's hop back into these good beats, these good hooks and lyrics. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Solid. So, it's funny we're talking about that album because my favorite, I say top 3, my favorite song is Champagne.
I'm gonna drop it to the floor and get the best of me. And when she bring it back up, I'll make that masterpiece. Cost me like IV, pain in my IVs.
Yeah.
Now, this is how Champagne came about.
Okay.
I was getting ready to go to the Bel Air brunch last year. So I was pretty much just getting myself motivated, to go to that event. And I just said, heck with it, man. I found some dapper sound, man, and just created the hook. 'Cause I'm out the Champagne. And then once again, got the guys in the studio again with me, man. Singing on the hook with me, man. Just creating classics, man.
Yeah, so just really come from that authentic
space.
space.
It's really real. I was actually looking for something to rap about at the time. Like I said, I knew I was going to this event. I'm getting everything together. I'm getting my outfit together, my shades, shoes, and everything, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to step out, and I'm off the Champagne, and sip a little champagne every now and then. I tap back into my feelings, man. I relayed a lot of that content on that track.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Smack the track.
Yeah, smack the track. Yeah.
Oh man. So I gotta hop around with these albums. I do want to go to the Mac tape from, I think this is on the later end of that, Mary Jane to Lolo. And it really caught my ear because it was like a different sound and a transition.
Which, from Mary Jane to Lolo?
Yeah, it was kind of like old school vibes, a little more modern.
So I kind of gave you the Rick James vibe on the Mary Jane story, but I collaborated on that whole album with Kwame Black Rican, so we kind of took it to a more street level of Mackin', and that's why he did his thing on that track. That he came up with that song on his own, and when I heard him, like, yo, this definitely fits the content of what I'm trying to push right now. So I gave my side of Mackin' on the Mary Jane story, laid back flow, and he went hard on Lola. Yeah. So it all just came together, man, just like that.
So did y'all actually like sit down like, all right, we're gonna put this after this one, or just however it came about?
Nah, we didn't do it. He come in and do all this stuff, man. But he just sent me the tracks, and I kind of just put it together, man. Because it was kind of quick how we did it. It was just in the studio. He was doing a couple of songs, I think Bands in the Hood for me, and then we just kept collabing. I was like, you know what, man, let's just make a tape. You know what I mean? And I kind of put them in order.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just on how I was feeling, how I wanted to start and how I wanted it to end. Just kind of wanted to make it sound like a chapter book. Yeah. Yeah. And the reason I brought that up, because like you say, just, you kind of just, hey, if I'm feeling this way, I'm going to jump into this. So it's not really too rigid. And then you can throw a flow off, trying to do that. So as you can see, like when we started the Mac tape, right? We started off pretty fast, pretty high pitched with a Payday. Then we slowed it down for a second.
Yeah.
Brought in good vibes, you know what I'm saying? So it was going fast and slow. Turn it up for a few more tracks, get into Dirty Money, Mary Jane. Slow it down a little bit. Pick up the pace with Lolo, and then bust down. That's how we ended the album.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you had 3 features up there, just like that whole ambiance of, all right, kind of bringing a new flavor.
Shout out to the concept.
Yeah. Cutthroat
Benji, yeah, he was on Dirty Money. Shout out
Cut
to
Baby.
Cut Baby. Yeah. Shout out to Cut Baby 305 in my yo.
Solid.
Yeah.
Dope. So, also, so let's go back to the beginning, Blessed Forever, Well, before we get into that, I did want to bring up the generational curse. Your first 2 albums, had the theme of the generational curse, a Seaman story. So what's the story behind that, and what does that mean to you?
Okay, well, it's my personal story. I was the semen, but I'm not gonna get too particular, but I'm gonna just say a lot of the things that was going on was, with me, were kind of repetitive to things that happen in the history of family. You know what I'm saying? So I just looked at it as a generational curse, you know, and how would I change things so that I can be blessed forever? You know what I'm saying?
So, and you also brought up like it was kind of a release for you, so you think that kind of helped?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that helped me
getting
get
it out.
through the past 4 or 5 years, man. Just constantly recording, making hits, man.
Dope. So, also, what does mental health mean to you? Like when you talk about generational curse and having things you want to like express, you know, how have you, well, even being out to sea and dealing with that lifestyle, like how have you been able to like deal with mental health and how important is that to you?
Man, and just instead of letting go, man, just find a positive outlet. You know, I was going through some things and I found a creative way to like let things go. You know what I'm saying? Whether people like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure a lot of people didn't agree with my music from day one, but that was therapy for me. You know what I'm saying? So do whatever you gotta do. I don't care what it is, you know, but as long as it's positive, I will say that. Do whatever you gotta do to release your frustration. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody
grieves differently.
Yeah. Yeah, so you really just gotta take them steps and just, all right, look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, this is what I gotta do. Yeah.
And it worked for me, may not work for everybody else, but instead of going out and being foolish, you know, hurting other people, you know what I'm saying, in different ways, find a way to release your pain, you know what I'm saying? But even if it's just writing it down, just start a journal, start a diary, you know? And it just so happened for me, it turned into rapping, singing, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like this situation created a musical monster, because now I just can't stop.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So you don't ever see yourself stopping doing music?
Never.
Or
Never. I'm 33 now. And at the time, too, I always kind of wanted to make music. I would say when I was probably about 22, 23, I sucked. But as soon as I started going through things, it just started coming to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say the situation created a musical monster, man. And that's like, I know I would never stop. I took maybe about 9 months off from writing when I was going through a lot of litigation, because at the point I was just so frustrated I couldn't write. And when I was done with that, I felt like I couldn't make music anymore. But so I started searching for sound, listening to beats, to come right back to me. And that's how I feel. That's why I feel that I'm a natural born artist, man. You know.
Dope. So, like you said, you went through that and was like you weren't forcing it anymore. You kind of got to the point. It's like, man, I got hella content.
Yeah, it's like if I pull up to a lid right now, man, what you want?
Yeah.
or if I ain't got it, we can make it happen.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So that's why I feel like I never stop doing music. I can guarantee you when I'm 40, 50 years old, I'll probably be ghostwriting, making hits for somebody. You know, like when I first started, I was just joking. You know, I used to do my little lives on Facebook, you know, as I'm recording. I'm like, man, call up Diddy, man. You know, tell him I do songs starting at 5,000 a piece, you know. But I spoke it into existence. Now I can really do that if it came to it, you know, naturally. Yeah.
That's
like,
crazy because you're gonna be able to pull them memos on them. You still got them.
Yeah, I do, man.
Up.
I go back and look at them all the time, and that keeps me motivated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta put it out there because like you never know what you're gonna be able to utilize again or when you're at this moment. It's not gonna last forever.
To be honest, man, last night I had a Facebook memory, right? And it was from one of the first tracks that I wrote, Family Is Gold, and I was just riding in the car, actually downloaded. I was like, you know what? Man, I came a long way from this first track, man. I was kind of garbage, man. You know? I was just like, man, that wasn't it right there, man. But now I see how far I've grown, man, and I can't stop, man. I can't stop, man. You know?
Speaking of that, he can't stop, won't stop.
I won't stop. Like, my mind won't allow me to, man.
Yeah, that's, I think that's the mentality you gotta have, because no matter what's going on, you gotta keep, that sound going. So a lot of people, like you said, be inauthentic, get into it, and it's like, man, this shit ain't pop off.
Yeah.
They'll do something different. It's like you said, this me.
Yeah, it's to the point I don't even care about
You can't.
the money. I don't care about it, because it's just like I just gotta keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? And
Should it be there?
yeah, and I don't know, man. I kind of got this feeling. I'm like, man, I'll probably never pop off, man, but I got this feeling like, man, an artist gonna find me one day when I'm older, and they gonna sample my music. So they gonna go back. I might have that one hit, and up and coming artists gonna hear it, and they gonna go back to my old music, and they gonna sample with hits like 811, It's a Murder.
It's a murder, murder. It's a murder, I don't wanna go to jail, but I just caught a body.
You know what I'm saying? Bust down, Dirty Money. They, and you see it all the time in the music industry, that people sample well-known artists from the 80s to 70s. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm gonna fall under that category for some reason, man. But at the end of the day, I got all my writers' credits, and we gonna make money if they do sample it.
Hey, not if, when.
Yeah, when
2030,
they do.
2050.
Yeah, man. I already know, man.
Yeah.
Like, if I say my daughter, I have a daughter, man. Both of my daughters, they like to sing and do that stuff, But I'm like, man, one of them got that part of me in them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I might write songs for them, Yeah. You never know.
Yeah. Hey, that, like you say, it turns from a generational curse to generational wealth.
Yeah, exactly.
Generational,
That's just like Nas and his father,
Yeah. So it's funny, I forgot who it was, looking at something with somebody, and they were like, yeah, it may not pan out for me, but I'm doing what it may have been the Drake song. It was like, I'm doing this for my that new shit. Okay, it's coming to me. But it's like, I'm doing this for, my son.
Right.
And just setting them up. So
and if you go back in time, Drake's father was a musician as well as his uncle. So he come from that background. You know what I mean? That musical background. Yeah.
So how important is father and family, especially with your, work schedule, to you, and how does that inspire you, especially with the music?
How important is family?
Yeah, family.
Family is extremely important, and I say the last 4 or 5 years, I wasn't able to be the father that I wanted to be, but from this point, I'm really staying on top of, being active in my kids' life, no matter what. And, most of the time when they're around me, sometimes we hit the studio because I know they love it. We riding around sometimes, they reciting what I'm working on. But at the same time, I just try to be more active, man, and just be there for them, no matter what. I'm not able to talk to them all the time, but like I said earlier, by me thinking and having that time to myself, I could be missing my children, Once I write, that kind of eased my mind, you know what I'm saying, from not seeing them, not speaking to them when I'm not, not able to.
Yeah, so, also, like you say, the last 4 or 5 years, how has that process been, not process for the past 4 or 5 years, but now just all right, this is what I plan to do moving forward, your family. Do you have that mapped out, or are you just taking it day by day?
Taking it day by day. I kind of don't want to count my eggs before they hatch. You know what I'm saying? So just stay motivated.
It was a great quote.
Huh?
I said that was a great quote.
Yeah, and I've learned, you know what I'm saying, not from past situations. As far as this, surrounding this situation, I learned, don't count my eggs before they hatch. Just go day by day and stay motivated and do what you need to do to become successful and be the best family man I could be,
Yeah, solid. So also to relate that, how important is your faith? Because on, was it Blessed Forever 2, I think? You had more of that kind of, even the song titles are like more just groundedness in the music. So like what, Sailor's Gospel.
Before I land the hearse, I put my life in a verse. Family breakups, faced with generational curse. I remember sitting on the porch, KP, 12 years old.
That's probably my top 5 from your music. Yeah, with the church, choir background. Yeah. So like, how important is that to you?
As far as faith?
Yeah, faith. Yeah.
Faith is very important, and I could honestly say there came a point in time where I kind of lost myself and lost my faith. You know what I'm saying? But me finding the gift, like I told you before, we was on here last time, it was all a dream that I was doing these things, So for me to find a gift within myself, that kind of pushed me back towards keeping my faith on what I'm trying to accomplish in life. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I know who to call on when things get rough,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So, I feel like that's especially apparent with everything been going on these past couple of years. So you just gotta really appreciate that relationship. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, also speaking of Sailor's Gospel, you got Sailor Pain, Drunken Sailor, A Sailor's Drink. So there's a lot of theme there. We've already touched on it.
As you can see, I was going through it. And like I said, I was around other individuals who were going through it, and they cope with their pain, totally different than the way I dealt with it, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's where I grabbed a lot of that content from,
Yeah, so, I wanted to go back, we were talking about faith and stuff, and just speaking of the vulnerability, and just how you were able to put that into your music and just, all right, I'm just letting it out, and just putting it on the track.
I felt like I had no other choice but to keep it real. Yeah. And heck, look at Jay-Z, for example. When he dropped 444, that was real life. You know what I'm saying? That was everything that was going on at the time. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that my life is open book, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
So you hate it?
Yeah, I hate it. You know what I'm saying? That my life is open book and that I push it out on the forefront, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people can't accept that. You know what I mean?
You think you would scale back moving forward? Just
nah.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah, just keep doing. But I would say I'm not gonna put everything out there like I did before, because like I said, I had a very vulnerable mind state, and I just didn't care. You know what I'm saying? What went out. But now I am more conscious, about a lot of things that I put out, because I realized I affected the people that was around me in a negative way, said a lot of things, threw a lot of disses out there. I didn't care at the time. And trust me, they made me feel it later on. That's just all I'm gonna say. I felt it. When I didn't think they were listening to things I was saying, they let me know that they were listening to things that I was saying by doing certain things, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, and I'm glad you brought up Jay-Z, because I did want to ask you, your, who inspires you, who or what, your inspirations. You can get on personal level or music-wise.
I think last time I did touch on that, Jay-Z was a big inspiration as far as me wanting to do business, you know, in music. And besides, I think his birthday is like December 11th, December 12th. So we were born around the same time, just different years. So, you know, we both Sagittarius, you know. So I feel a lot of the things that Jay be talking about, you know, kind of alike, you know. Yeah, but we just ain't got the same bank account. We ain't in the same tax bracket, you know. Not yet.
Solid. So,
and we got two different stories, you know.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, I definitely picked up on a lot of, you know, just different vibes and people, sounds, not any type of biting shit, but like more so inspiration and figuring, like you configuring that sound to you.
Right. I'm not gonna lie to you. I bite a lot of sound. People just don't know, because some people just not tuned into music as a whole. A lot of people just listen to modern day stuff. I listen to stuff from the 60s. I listen to Jackie Wilson. I listen to Eddie Kendrick, David Ruffin, you know, those guys like that. I listen to Rick James, you know, and I bite off they sound sometimes. A lot of the times you hear me throw some vocals in the song, I get that from them, you know. That's where I get it from.
And music like food, I feel like everybody eating.
Yeah. And I listen to music just over and over again, every day. So it's just like instilled in me, you know, when I hear when I hear the beat drop a certain way, oh, let me throw in this Rick James, so let me throw a little bit of Curtis Mayfield, you know what I'm saying? And if you listen to the Mac tape, if you listen to, what's that song, Man Kwame? Man Kwame got a song up there, I can't remember the name of it. Oh, man. That's how many songs I write. Oh, dang. Hold up, man. Reflections. So if you listen to Reflections, you'll hear me start off the song like Curtis Mayfield. And you'll hear me in the song, or in the vocals in my songs, like Rick James, you know? And I'm talking on the end of that track, but I'm reciting Jeezy. So, I just give you the best of both worlds, man. You know, in my own terms.
Yeah, and I can definitely tell that, because I want to bring up our government bands.
I need money potion, man. You gon' make me ride with that Ruger, man. You gon' make me slang with that Buddha, man. Yo, man. Zip up.
You know, definitely just crazy flow. Sound, I feel like it's a real, probably one of the most complete songs,
Really?
I would say.
Shout out to DJ S2, aka Agony. Yeah. Oh, he was featured on that song, and that was a real life song, bro. You know, that was true. I was to the point where I was just asking myself, like, you know, should I jump or should I dig deep? You know, I was going through a lot financially, mentally, you know, and things wasn't moving fast enough for me, you know. And instead of jumping off the deep end, like I said, I put everything into the music, man. And I came up with Government Bandz. You know, that's really how I was feeling.
Or so, with you saying that being your, you know, favorite and probably most complete project album, you know, also you got the most.
That was on Bandz in the Hood, right?
Yeah, Bandz in the Hood, yeah. So like, you know, you got the most features up there as well.
Yeah.
You got a good number of people.
Yeah. Shout out to Coco Chrissy, Agony. Man, who else was on that album?
Up there.
Oh yeah, shout out to A Driver, man. We gonna make that video soon. I choose her. I actually put that song on Tales from the Pimp too, because the grown and sexy crowd love it, man.
Right. Dope. And it's funny you brought that up in terms of like putting them on different, you know, albums, because you also brought back It's a Murder on that one.
Yeah,
and Bandz in the Hood.
I always felt like It's a Murder was gonna be my all-time hit track. That's why I just kept pushing it, man. Kept pushing it. You know, if it's songs that I just can't get enough of, man, look, I'm gonna get new listeners on this album anyway, so let me throw that on there, you know, because I don't think they heard the last album.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And a lot of guys do that with their mixtapes, you know, but it is what it is. I'm independent. Hey, I can drop that song if I want, you know?
Hey, look, because, you know, a year ago, a lot of people ain't hear it. You know, you shit. throw it back up there in 5 years. You know, it's like
exactly
new to them. You may be tired of it, but
well, one thing I always said, man, if I really hit a certain plateau, one thing I probably do, if I hit that plateau with one song, I'll probably pull a lot of my music and re-release it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I felt like you got to, especially because music is so timeless.
Exactly.
So that's like re-releasing some shit, like you say, Curtis Mayfield, Earth, Wind and Fire, some early Jay-Z. Yeah.
And shout out to Kwame Black Rican too, because we got a song up there, Chica Sexy, man. That is like that's a lifetime song right there. And that's one of my goals, you know what I'm saying, to just make that lifetime sound, you know what I'm saying, songs that you can play forever, you know what I'm saying, and that's the song speaking on the world and women from everywhere, you know. That's always gonna pop in the Latin clubs, man.
Yeah, and you know, I did want to bring up, I noticed, like, you listen to Currency?
I do, but I don't. No disrespect, but Currency's a stoner, so I don't really listen to stoner music. But
Gotcha.
I do listen to him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. I think Currency's dope. He's great. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the fact that he's not more mainstream, so I ain't really look out for him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I would for a Drake out. You know. Yeah. But I do like him.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say that's interesting because I definitely noticed like them, they kind of more, what do you want to call it, stoner, just chill vibes.
Chill vibes, relax
just
vibes.
Like,
yeah.
Like you just talk, like, because with him, you know, he just talk about, you know, a lot of just his daily lifestyle and
little party
this and that,
and blowing here, blowing there. Yeah,
it's just, you know.
And he's smooth with it too.
Yeah.
I rock with Currency.
Yeah. So I know that's that same, we keep bringing this word back up. It's appropriate, authentic vibe in you and that sound, even though you may jump over here, jump over there, but it always comes back to just, all right, let me give you all a piece of me. And keep giving you all the pieces. So.
And that's my focal point of grabbing sound from each art. Maybe a little trap here and there, you know, a little rock, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe sell his drink, you know. That way, I can keep you in tune.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of that, keeping people in tune, like the Rick Ross Jr. track, you brought that back, you know, to Tales from the Pimp.
I did that because that track was booming. That was like, when I look at my top songs, it was just out of nowhere. I'm looking at it, I'm looking at my top song, that's like, I think that was #1 for a minute. So I'm like, man, people really like this track. I dropped this track 4 years ago. Well, let me bring it back. You know?
Yeah.
So that was my reason for dropping that again.
Okay. So what's the reasons for the title?
Ross is my favorite rapper of all times.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over Jay-Z?
Over Jay-Z. Not, I mean, no disrespect, but it's the beats, you know what I'm saying, that Ross selected for me. You know what I'm saying? I can't get
another level.
Yeah, I can't get enough of it. So
I don't know. You just gotta sit back, man. Whether it's your wine, your cigar, whatever. Just,
if I want to go to war, I can pull up some Ross. If I want to kick back with the lady, I can pull up some Ross. If I want to ride down South Beach and cruise and chill, I can pull up some Ross. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, Ross, like I said, Ross my favorite rapper, man. And there was a point in time, man, I was really out here acting like I was Ross, man.
Right.
Yeah, you know, especially when I had it going on back in the day. I had that Pontiac Grand Am GT coupe, you know, leather seats all black, the chrome wheels, man. I was blasting Ross, man, pulling up to the alley, man. That was me. Yeah. Every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
Snap that.
Yeah. Back when Teflon Don was hot, man. Come on, man.
Man, stop lying.
Triller, come on, man. That's all I was blasting, man. And
I ain't gonna say it's the best because he got such a catalog. But yeah, that BMF, MC Hammer, what was it? I think Aston Martin.
Aston Martin music, yeah. Live Fast, Die Young. Yeah. Come on, man.
Exactly.
Maybach music, come on, man. Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to Blessed Forever 2.
Okay.
We ain't really jump into that too much. So, yeah. So you already said that you like, you know, put your emotions into it.
Yeah.
But also,
Heavily. And I'll probably never ever do that again, man.
Yeah.
When I go back and listen, I'm like, man, that sound like a simp out here, man. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I could tell that like you really like, you know, just dove in, you know, because you got 3 of them tracks up there that was like interludes. They were a minute or less. So, you know, what was the because that dropped like a week after the first one?
Dropped them same day.
The same day. Okay.
Blessed Forever Part 1 and Part 2.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that one you know, had them interludes. So what was the like process behind that? It was like, I'm gonna do damn near half of these just talking.
Just me trying to put real life on wax, man. I just, like I said, I wanted to be like a chapter book. I wanted to be a story. You know what I'm saying? I wanted you to be able to follow along with the songs, you know, by hearing me speak on things, hearing others speak on things. This was real. Everything you heard on there was 100% real. You know what I'm saying? And the interludes just led into the next part of the chapter, you know?
Yeah. Solid. So, you know, also with that one, is this like, you know, dropping it the same day? Was that supposed to be meant like a bonus, or why not just do like a 20?
I just wanted to go ahead and get it over with, man, because I don't think Blessed Forever Part 2 had enough vibration behind it for me to just release it by itself. You know what I mean?
What would you, so you already had the track, so.
Yeah, I already had it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I kind of wanted Blessed Forever Part 1 to be more of a live album, you know, go crazy to it a little bit. And Blessed Forever Part 2, I wanted that to be more chill. I threw a lot of R&B in there, you know, from Me Love to Sailor Pain. And yeah, I pretty much sang on most of that album.
Yeah. So, you know, I think that was the last outro to that. Was it A Woman of
God, man.
Yeah.
Man, I messed that track up, man. In a good way.
Yeah.
But in a good way, in a bad way. I just want to say I got to redo that song, you know, because that's such a great song, man, you know, and that's why I say I like to make lifetime music. I already know if I pull that song out when I'm 45 years old and I redo that, man, it's just going to go crazy, you know?
Yeah,
but
see, that's the funny thing about, like, you know, doing music, because to somebody else, it's like, so you messed it up, or you know you could have did better. It's like, man, that shit was,
yeah,
that shit was like that.
Yeah, I was just moving off emotions at the time, man, and just didn't care too much to really sit back and critique it. I just dropped it. But then when I critique it after the third body of work, I'm just like, oh man, I don't sound as good as this, you know. I got to go back and redo that, you know, because
you see that progress.
Yeah. I got better as an artist, you know.
Yeah. So how do you pick your producers, like the people you work with, music-wise?
It's all about what catches my ear, man, and I kind of wanted to bring in, like I said, the underground producers that people not really, that people that haven't been exposed yet, you know what I'm saying? I kind of want to try something different, bring some new people out, man, to show the world there's other dope artists, producers, other than the ones you listen to on a daily basis, you know?
Yeah, so, you know, also like with, like we've been talking about like collaborations, features. How do you cycle? Because there's so much music out here. How do you cycle through? And I'm gonna work with this person, or it just happens organically?
It happens organically, and not to be cocky, but I feel like I can work with anybody. I haven't had a problem with any other artist I collaborated with, you know. And the thing is too, like, I listen to their sound, so while I'm digging for beats, if I find something that fits your sound, I send it off to them, and we click like that. They were like, dang, yo, that's it right there, man. Where you get this from? Don't even worry about it. You know, I had that musical intellect, you know, that I know what you're gonna like and what you're not gonna like for the most part, you know.
Yeah. So, and then also with like so we talking about like producing side, you talking about doing music forever. You know, you see yourself getting into that more and just like everything gonna be in-house, or you always try to, like you say, figure out some new sounds and put other people on?
I think at some point, man, me personally, I'm 40, man. I might chill out for a while as far as creating albums, and I'll probably make my own sound.
Just play around.
Yeah. Because just as good as I can write these songs, I hear things in my head that's just as good, you know?
Yeah. So dope. So, you know, also speaking of like collaborating, this area has been super progressive. As you know, on both sides, working musically and also what you do, like out to sea merchant season. So it's just like they're really building up. So like, how do you view like the music scene out here and how it's grown?
I feel like a lot of the guys here on this music scene is truly territorial. And I see a lot of people migrating towards DC, They want to be DMV instead of just being here, being that guy here, Like, you got to move out, man, at some point. And I just feel like this scene is oversaturated with a lot of rappers that's really not going too far, man. To be honest, it's a lot of talent here. And I respect the people that branch out, because that's how I started. I didn't just start here, I branched out. I went here and there. My sound up in New York, My sound was global, They listened to me over in the Philippines, and so, like I said, it's a lot of talent here, but one thing I don't see a lot of is originality, in the 7 cities. I feel like a lot of stuff I hear is recycled, I mean, just being honest, like,
yeah,
I think once we create our own sound and stop trying to sound like the people we listen to every day, we're gonna be all right, man. We create our own sound. You see what Chicago doing? They got the whole drill scene popping. Now everybody trying to do it, now. Yeah, Memphis, New York. Shout out to them. Everybody's making good music, but I feel like we need to create our own sound, And once we do that, we'll be all right, You see how the Clips took off? They had their own sound, man. Nobody else had that Neptune sound, man. Nobody else. And it took them further. It was original.
Real beach vibe. Yeah, so again, I think that's a great take because it's like, a lot of people making good music, but it's not like, all right, well, you can definitely tell the pulls from other places. And if you're already getting that from another place, yours can still be good music, but it's not going to elevate.
Right.
And puncture the industry how it could. And we do have some people that did that and laugh and this and that, but in terms of like just really, all right, another revitalization of like you say.
I hear a lot of
early 2000 Neptunes and.
I hear a lot of Young Boy, I hear a lot of Dirk and a lot of these guys' music, Just being honest, and I understand that's their guy, who they listen to, but they gotta switch it up, man. You gotta create your own style, man. And once you learn to create your own style, man, you're gonna elevate, And I realized too, like I said, when I first started rapping, this had to been like 2011, 2012. Same thing with me. I'm rapping. I didn't really know what to rap about. I'm sounding like Ace Hood, Waka Flocka, Ross. And I'm like, man, this ain't even me, So I had to just be original, And it took for somebody to tell me that too. And I'm like, all right, yeah, you right. Yeah.
So.
We have great talent coming out of this area.
Yeah. So with this next album, you gonna have like, just the amount of features, or you locking in by yourself? How's that looking?
I say on the Soul Food album, I have a few features up there. Kwame Black Rican, Joe the Pro, Huncho Back Ends, of course. There's gonna be a lot of features up there. And then I believe the same day we probably drop Huncho and Bandz. That's me collaborating with Huncho Back Ends. You know, we pretty much putting our own spin together, just collaborating things. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha, okay. So, yeah, you know, also, not really that project, but how far do you like space your, you know, or starting to space your, you know, projects out? So I know there's a little break in there, but like, are you like looking a couple albums ahead or?
No, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say as of right now, these are the last 2 albums I'm gonna drop for a long time because I gotta get back into these videos, man. I've been making so much music, and my partner told me the other day, yo, man, like, you really need to shoot some videos, man. Yeah. Press pause for a minute, you know, so I gotta get back into making videos, but something is telling me, because like I done said before, I told people Tales from the Pimp was gonna be my last album, but I just can't quit. So I already know at some point, I'm gonna pick back up on it again, you know. I can't see when and where right now, but I already know it's gonna happen. But as of right now, Soul Food, Huncho, and Bandz, I'm gonna drop those and I'm gonna sit on those 2 for a while and get into the artistry with the videos, you know.
Hey, look, I'm gonna give you a freebie.
All right, talk to me.
Resurfacing them, you know, all the songs you got to do.
Yeah, I do, man. I do, because I mean, I told a story. I told amazing stories, man, but I only got 2 visuals out. You know, actually 3, but one I kind of pushed to the side. I don't even promote it because it creates a lot of problems, you know. But definitely Dirty Money and Reggie Miller, those videos out right now. So I gotta dive back into that, you know, because that really got the people involved, you know, but I was dealing with myself more to the point where I couldn't really get out there like that. You know, I had to work on me first, you know, but now we back, man. We can do whatever, you know.
Yeah. And I about to say, I mean, especially them Sailor title songs that I brought up, it was like, they're very visual.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
especially Sailor's Drink, huh? Trust me, man. I got your message. I seen the context of the question. You was talking about this sound like a karaoke type song. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too, man. Yeah, we gonna do it, man. We gonna do it. We got time.
That should be crazy. You got, especially with this area, being able to utilize some type of dope or resource.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the Eagles Nest. I'm like, man, if I throw this song in the Eagles Nest, man, do a video, man, come on, man. They gonna act a fool in there, man.
Dropping at the right time.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah, you know I'm rocking with that.
Yeah.
Just with the Tower Wave, Steam, everything, water. So I just appreciate this culture, just everything. You know, we talked about this. I think either at the beginning, it's been a long interview, at the beginning or before, right? Nautical theme. Yeah, so, you know, but yeah, you know, so with that, like, did you have to get yourself like acclimated to just that whole vibe? Kind of, you say, you know, working them long hours, but like just the storytelling component, because anybody can write a song, but it's like, damn, how would I be feeling here? Or you may be there taking notes. You get what I'm asking?
I get what you're saying. I would say I keep a good log of things, you know what I'm saying? Like, I write things as they happen, you know what I'm saying? That way, every time I drop, you know, you're able to continue to follow the story, and you can pick up on what happens next. You know what I'm saying?
So you kind of like pick up, like, all right, you may be writing some notes one day.
And then next day, yeah.
Okay, followed up. Solid.
I keep it all in line.
Yeah. So I know you kind of chilled on the name Sailor Gang. You thinking about a rebrand or,
Yeah. Actually, we did come out with a fictitious name called Merchant Inc. You know what I'm saying? So we do a lot of business under Merchant Inc. right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's just you see what happened to YSL, right? See what's going on with them. So I had to kind of fall back from that name for a while, you know?
Where you at, too? I know.
Yeah, a lot of guys would say, like, "Yo, what's the Sailor Gang thing? You know, who's this guy, you know?" I'm going out to the club. Oh, what they repping, you know?
It ain't naval base, you know that.
Exactly, yeah. Not even that type of party, man. You know, it's just music at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah, so, the reason I was asking, because, like, merch. So you ever thought about, like, releasing some merch? And
I did, man, and at one point in time, I was pushing the Sailor Gang t-shirts out there, but I was getting too many questions. This is all I'm gonna say, man. And I thought about it. I said, man, what if somebody had a Sailor Gang t-shirt on and they walked into a wrong neighborhood and somebody who just wasn't thinking just reacted all because they saw the word gang on that shirt. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of being smart about it, being more conscious about how I'm representing myself and how I'm letting other people represent the brand.
Being marketable, you want other people that, like you say, may not be too savory to the gang.
Yeah.
You repping the merch as well. Dope. Yeah, I like the merchant.
Yeah. So you just gotta grow, Sailor Gang is we still here, but you're gonna hear a lot of Merchant Inc. You're gonna see a lot of Merchant Inc.
Yeah. And I also wanted to get into the, you being on the ship as well. Like them hard working days. So like, just the type of work that y'all do, and you can give a little more insight into that lifestyle for the people that don't know.
It's constant work, man. All day long, around the clock, man. Bell to bell. Barely got time to yourself. I mean, you get a little rest here and there. You go to lunch, chill out. But, where I'm working at now, I'm down in the Gulf of Mexico. It's extremely hot, So you're dealing with heat exhaustion, heat cramps all day, man. So after a while, man, like when you get off, man, most of the time you're frustrated. You probably a lot of guys go smoke, make phone calls, go shower up, go play poker, to release their stress for the day, But it's extreme hard work, man, turning tools all day, constantly answering phone calls, paging people here and there, running up and down stairs, taking logs of this and that, working on projects. It's difficult, man. Non-stop, man, day by day. Like I say, you never really had the time to press reset, within yourself and get your mind right, you know what I'm saying? Never had that time to sit back and reflect because 9 times out of 10, after you hit the shower, man, you going to sleep. So you just wake up the next morning jumping right back into the same thing over and over again. But you got to be built for it mentally and physically. That's all I'm going to say.
So I know you appreciate being back online.
Yeah, man, yeah, but hey, you got to jump back in with the kids. That's back to work, man.
For real. Yeah, so...
And family too, so you constantly working, man. It's nonstop. Oh man, I want to give a shout out to Humana Beauty Supply. Shout out to my baby. Shout out to Heinz Enterprise. Shout out to JB&T Trucking. Shout out to Remain Stainless Customs. Shout out to D&M LLC, Lily Jeanette. Man. Just basically everybody out there that's grinding. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my daughters, Ryan, Baby K. Shout out to my son, Boss Jr. And shout out the whole Cellar Gang community, man. Keep doing your thing, keep grinding, keep hustling, man. That's pretty much all I got, man. Stay tuned to the Soul Food album that's coming out pretty soon. And also, make sure y'all go and check out the new track, Casamigos. It's already out on 103 Jam. Shout out to Jack and Spade. Shout out to Huncho Backends for the feature, man. We got great music coming soon. Casamigos. Song of the summer, man. It's the summer anthem, man. I want to see y'all pouring up at all the bars, man.
Super solid.
Hey, the video coming soon. Shout out to Brizzy J ENT, man. That's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna be a crazy summer.
Rodney Bandz.
Yeah, Rodney Bandz is back, man. Cellar Gang, Merchant Ink, man, Stainless Customs, man, everybody, man. Yeah.
Salute, and we out.
All right.
I'm in the zone, I make a splash. That's in the shot with my eyes closed. Yeah, I guess in the fight for a vacay. And that's a life 40. Ride around, live, playing defense. I got a pop 40.